Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about psychological health, but maybe not in the way you're used to thinking about it. See, it's not some finish line you cross. It's really a journey that we are all on, every single day. So, let me ask you something right off the bat. Are you just not sick, or are you actually truly well? Think about that for a second. That question, it really gets to the core of what we're talking about today. All right, so let's unpack that. What does it mean? For a long time, we thought of psychological health as just not being sick. But that's kind of passive, right? The real goal here is the presence of wellness. It's a positive, active state of being that can really light up every corner of your life. So, to help us frame this whole journey, we're going to lean on the work of a psychologist named Abraham Maslow. He was a real pioneer because he basically flipped the script. Instead of just focusing on what's wrong with people, he started asking, what's right? He called this positive psychology, and it's all about setting positive goals for ourselves and figuring out how to get there. It's about being proactive with our well-being, not just reacting when things go wrong. And that proactive approach leads us to a really powerful metaphor for this whole thing, the climb. Think about it. We're all on this climb to reach our fullest potential, what Maslow called self-actualization. And just like any big climb, you're going to want a map, right? And here it is. This is our map. It's Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs. And what it shows us, really, is that you have to build from the ground up. You can't just start at the top. Down at the bottom, you've got your most basic physiological needs. We're talking food, water, a roof over your head. Once that's covered, you can move up to feeling safe and secure. Then comes love and belonging, our connections with others. After that, it's about self-esteem. And only when that foundation is solid can we really reach for that peak, self-actualization. So, what's it even like at the top of this mountain? What does self-actualization look like? Well, people who get there tend to share some pretty cool qualities. They see the world for what it is, that's realism. They have a really positive self-concept, which is acceptance. They're independent thinkers, autonomous. They're not afraid to be who they truly are, they're authentic. They can build deep, meaningful relationships, that's intimacy. And they just have this creative, curious way of looking at the world. The point isn't about being perfect. It's about being fully, deeply alive. But of course, no climb is just a straight shot to the top. There are challenges. And to navigate that path, you need the right gear, the right tools. So let's talk about a couple of really crucial skills and mindsets we can all work on. Okay, first up, optimism versus pessimism. It's pretty straightforward, right? Pessimism is that habit of always focusing on the negative stuff. Optimism is the flip side, expecting things to turn out well. But here's the game changer. Neither of these is something you're just born with. They are learned behaviors. And that's fantastic news, because it means optimism is a skill you can actually practice and get better at. Our brains have these built-in tools called defense mechanisms. And some are actually pretty healthy, like using humor to get through a really awkward or tough moment. Great. But others, not so much. They're what we call maladaptive, which basically means they get in our way. Take denial, for instance. That's when you refuse to see something that's right in front of your face. Or projection, where you take your own feelings and pin them on someone else. Just starting to notice these in ourselves, that's a huge, critical first step. Okay, so now we need to talk about those times when the path gets really, really hard. When you're not just dealing with a few loose rocks, but with serious storms and truly difficult terrain. This is a very real part of the journey for so many people, and it is absolutely vital that we talk about it openly. So here's something incredibly important to understand. Psychological disorders are not a moral failing or a sign of weakness. So often, they have a clear biological basis. It comes down to chemistry. Our nerve cells talk to each other using these little chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. And when the balance of those chemicals gets thrown off, it can have a huge impact on our mood, our thoughts, our entire experience of the world. Just knowing this, that it's biological, is a massive step in fighting the stigma. And these challenges can show up in different ways. You've got anxiety disorders like phobias or OCD, which are all about intense fear and thoughts you just can't shake. Then there are mood disorders like depression or bipolar disorder, which bring these really big swings in your emotional state. And then there's schizophrenia, a really complex condition that affects how a person thinks and perceives reality. The key thing to remember is that these are serious medical conditions that deserve serious care. And for some people, the pain becomes so overwhelming that they start to think about ending their life. And we have to face this statistic head on. In the US, suicide is the second leading cause of death for people between the ages of 10 and 34. Let that sink in. This isn't some small issue on the side. It's a full-blown public health crisis, and it needs our attention right now. And if you look at this data from 2022, it's crystal clear. Serious suicidal thoughts touch people from every single ethnic group. This isn't an issue for one type of person or one community. It's a human issue. It's a powerful reminder that we're all in this together. So, what can we actually do? Well, one of the most powerful things is to learn the warning signs. If someone starts talking about dying or disappearing, if their whole personality suddenly changes, if they start giving away their prized possessions, even a sudden strange brightening of their mood after a long depression can be a major red flag. Paying attention to these signs could literally help you save someone's life. And look, we have to tackle a very dangerous myth right now. Some people think that talking about suicide will plant the idea in someone's head. That is absolutely 100% false. The truth is the complete opposite. By opening up a conversation, you give that person a lifeline. You give them a safe space to share what they're feeling and to know they're not alone. It might be the most important conversation you ever have. So, when things are at their absolute hardest, how do you find the way forward? The answer is simple, but it's not always easy. You seek out guides. You get help. Because no one, and I mean no one, has to go through this alone. And there are lots of different kinds of guides out there, different approaches to therapy. You have the biological model, which often involves medication to help rebalance that brain chemistry we talked about. There's behavioral therapy, which focuses on changing actions. Cognitive therapy helps you identify and shift harmful thought patterns. And psychodynamic therapy digs into how past experiences might be affecting you now. The cool thing is, most therapists today actually mix and match these approaches, like in cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which tackles both your thoughts and your actions.
So, what's the practical step-by-step for getting help? It's really three things. Number one, and this is the biggest hurdle for many, is to overcome the stigma. Please hear this. Asking for help is a sign of incredible strength. Number two, find a resource. This could be a student health center, a support group, or even just starting with your regular doctor. And number three, if it's a crisis, if you or someone you know needs help right now, you can dial or text 988 in the US and be instantly connected to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free, it's confidential, and it's available 24/7.
I just want to repeat that first part because it's so important. The very first step to getting help is overcoming the stigma of seeking it. It is not admitting defeat. It's an act of pure courage. Wow. Okay. We've covered a lot of ground today. We've gone from the very peaks of self-actualization all the way down into some of the most difficult terrain a person can face. But it all comes back to this one idea. Your psychological health is your journey. So leave you with this question to think about. What's one step, just one small step that you can take on your journey today